Hello and welcome back to another great episode of the Geek Tech Show. If you're not yet a subscriber, make sure you subscribe today because this show has great and interesting reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out the PowerShot G1X Mark III. So this one right here is a pretty cool camera. It is Fetal sealed, and is it still relevant for the year 2019 in case you actually wanted to get one for yourself? It is very solidly built. I'm very impressed with it. Unfortunately, there's a few things about this that might not make this the perfect camera for you. So if you're getting this to be used as a video camera, I suggest you don't actually do it. Right off the bat, I have tested this out. The video itself is pretty good. Let's not complain about that. The problem with this camera actually features in that it doesn't have an external mic, and the sound coming out from this camera is just not as good as it should be. There is this white noise that keeps on appearing on all the videos, which is unfortunate because this could have been the perfect vlogging camera. Apart from the sound, if you're able to take out the shortcoming by using an external mic, one thing that it does have for you is the ability for you to vlog and view yourself with this selfie screen that tilts on the side. This actually makes it a great camera if you're shooting stills and photography, because right now you can view this in different kind of directions and locations, and it's much easier, more to use than an overhead version for you. Also, what it features is right here an onboard flashlight, and all you have to do is just to lift it up. Unfortunately, one of the shortcomings of this camera is also because of this flashlight and the built-in viewfinder. The problem with the built-in viewfinder is, first of all, it has a light sensor right here, and if you're putting something in front of it, or even if you're passing by it, it will actually turn off the video screen right there. So that's kind of annoying. It's really built in for you to put your head to put your eye right in here and take pictures, so it automatically makes this screen go dark. But at the same exact time here, it sometimes will go dark anytime something passes right next to that. So that's actually really annoying for me. But I do like the built-in flash because it's very easy for you to use. Unfortunately, you can't bounce the flash because it doesn't have the extension that makes it go up and down. But that is good in some ways because now nobody can actually hit it accidentally and break your flash. It makes the flash much more better. And with rather sealed body and a small frame, this camera really is worth the $1,000, specifically if you're looking to shoot not videos but actually still photography. So for still photography, this is definitely a working beast right there. Now on the back, it has a very simplified menu system over here, and I'm talking about right there. And there is the wheel, and on the front there is also this dial right here you can use as well. On the top you can go ahead and change things, and it's very simple as well. There's a plus and minus. I love the plus and minus feature over here, and it is also available on my M6, which I'm shooting and creating this movie right as we speak. And it also has the wheel too, where you can change all the different settings. And plus, if you're wearing glasses, well, it has the plus and minus thing right here on the side, and you can just move it right now in case you actually need to, and it's going to make everything appear very well. Now, in terms of the grip itself, it has a very good grip for you, so when you're taking pictures, well, you're not going to drop it, and plus it feels very solid in your hand as well. So definitely is a very good camera when it comes to just being a camera by itself. Plus, you can put an external flash right on the top of this and take pictures. How good is that? Well, external flash is not really necessary for a camera this size. You're not getting it for the external flash factor here. In some ways, this is an unnecessary build right there. But the good thing is, what would have been, if this had an external mic, you could have been able to put it right there. It would have been perfect. Especially since this goes right on this side. So in some ways, this could have been the perfect camera. Well, maybe the next version of this camera would be the perfect one. I can't wait until the PowerShot G1X Mark III goes and becomes a Mark IV. So is this relevant for the year 2019. In some ways, if you're just taking pictures, this is the camera, the go camera for you to get. Now, one other annoying feature here is this. Why Canon? Why would you put something right so small right there? Hopefully, it would have had something that just closes the lens by itself automatically like they have in other cameras. Instead, they have this, which is a lens cap, which is okay, but the problem with that is this is so easy for you to actually lose. In fact, my first day I was using this, I put it somewhere and I couldn't find it. What happens if you can't find it? Well, like this, it's going to be always exposed. That's a big liability for $1,000 camera, not to have a lens cap that actually cost almost nothing for it. And what's bad about it as well is that it doesn't have one of the best grips to it too. So the best solution for it would have been something that kept it together, and they never actually included it, something that would just like hold it together. And you can buy one of those things for like a few bucks on AliExpress or just anywhere on eBay. Or yet, even better, just put this somewhere that you never lose. So this is something, a big liability with this camera. As you turn this on, you can see the zoom factor here. When you zoom it all the way in, well, this is why it's called a Canon. It looks like a Canon, and yeah, in some ways it is a Canon. Well, I'm talking about an actual Canon. As you zoom out, there's not much of a difference between them. It comes, zooms in and zooms out in between. And you can take pictures here too. Now, one thing about this is that you can't take a picture when you're filming, when you're using this camera too, and switching the buttons is a little bit more complicated too. And the sad thing about this is that if you wanted to record yourself, well, there's a record button on the back, very small, and you have to go and search for it. So if you really need to use it, it would have been so much better if you could have been reassigned the buttons somewhere in the front, but you can't because all those buttons are being used. So that's a big bummer as well. This is overall, I like the build. I really like the way this feels, and it doesn't make any clicking sound, which is good. It feels really solid in every kind of possible way. Lots of different features in this camera, and this is overall a great camera for you to use. So the Canon G1X is the top of the line model for this camera. I do like the way this actually looks and feels, and almost everything about this camera except the video capacity of it. It does not include this. It is an addition that I added to it. The great thing about this is that it has this articulate screen that goes on the side instead of going up. Now the good thing is right here you can put an external flash in here. The good thing about this screen is that you no longer need to worry about getting hurt or scratched or broken because it is now protected right inside. And it is made in Japan, which is good as well, because all quality products are made exactly in Japan. A lot of them are made in China too, but Japan is still the leader because this company is Canon, and everything that's made by Canon usually starts to be made in Canon Japan, and then they actually send it overseas to China for the second line of those products. So make sure that you are getting it, and make sure you read which kind of destination it is actually came from. This feels very nice. It is very soft, and it doesn't make any clicking sound when you move it. So I really like about that. On the other hand, this does do the clicking as you go and move it up and down. There is other things here that are pretty much, it is, I mean, when you're touching this, it is a great product. You can feel the quality that has been made in here. But it is not the best out of everything that they could have done. The mics are all the way at the top. They should have been on this side to actually capture the sound coming in. You have a right and a left channel for the mics over here in both of those locations. Unfortunately, the sound quality is not so good for this camera. Unsure why this is the case. It looks like it is pretty big mics that are available for it, but the processor itself, they can't capture the sound as good as I want it to. Let's turn this on. The lens cap itself is a little bit cumbersome for you to remove it. Not the easiest of lens caps out there. You have to apply a little bit of pressure, and with single hand it's a little bit harder for you to remove. Now, it does zoom in and zoom out. Unfortunately, you can see it right here. It still packs a load over zoom here, regardless if you're zooming all the way in or all the way out. This is a big bummer in case you don't need a zoom this long, and plus you always are going to be sticking out like a sore thumb over here because of this. So that's actually something to keep in mind for you. So if you want to use it for macro photography, which is this knife over here, one bummer about this camera is that it doesn't have the ability to zoom in as much as it should for it. And another thing about this, and I will show you right now, is this right here. As you can see, as soon as you kind of pass right next to it, it will turn itself off, which is super annoying. Now when it comes to doing a macro photography shots with it, you can see something very interesting here. It doesn't really focus on it. It doesn't like to focus as well, which is a bummer because it could have been the perfect camera for that. Instead, if you want to focus on something, you have to zoom all the way out and you have to move it quite some distance. In fact, the distance you have to hold it next to any object that you want to take a picture of. Anything much closer is just not going to focus. Just a little bit more, you move, and it no longer focuses on the object. Which is a big bummer because I wish you could go all the way right here and do a macro photography shot of it. Instead, it doesn't let you. Overall, I do like the functionality and everything else about this camera, as long as you keep it for what it is. Just a very good top of the line camera, and this is really all that this shines to be. Hopefully you did enjoy this video, and make sure you click on like and smash this thumbs up button if you did enjoy it. See you in another episode of the Geek Tech Show. Given the original camera was $1,300 up front, this makes it a great deal. Make sure you use the links right down below where you can purchase yours at the cheapest possible price. Thank you so much. Please support the channel by purchasing this camera right down below in case you do want to get it. And make sure you subscribe to the Geek Tech Show. See you in the next video.